Beyond the Fairway podcast presented by Genesis. Man, we back again. Wow, what a Sunday it was at the old course of St. Andrews. We got Shane Victorino coming in here. We're going to be on the fairway with him. We caught up with him at the American Century Championship last week. But Will, I know you busy, Will. You on the course. You've been, doing your thing with the kids, getting ready for the underrated tour there in Houston. But did you see any of this mayhem today?
Man, I just know I probably saw one of the best up and downs I've ever seen in my whole entire life by Cam Smith. So the fact that, I hate to say it was expected, didn't really expect Roy McIlroy to kind of finish strong because he's been disappointing me in the latter part of the rounds. I was hoping for him, but it just didn't happen. However, Cam Smith is fitting. I mean, the guy been playing well all year, but I just can't wait for Roy to really make that turn on that final round. Hopefully it comes in the Masters so he can complete the career Grand Slam, but who knows?
And you're talking about the up and down there at the 17th hole, missed the green, had to put up and around the bunker. That was that was well stated, Will. That was one of the better up and downs I've seen in clutch. I mean, you got the tournament on the line, and look, Roy didn't really play bad. He hit 18 greens, had 36 putts. Roy should take that putter, break that son of a, and throw it as far away as he can and go get refit for a new one.
Yeah, he should throw that putter similar to what he did in Doral, which was probably the best swing he ever had all week that week.
Yeah, Roy's going to have to do something to figure it out, but Cam Smith is your champion golfer of the year. It's my favorite. Look, how about my wife was trying to vacuum during the trophy presentation, Will. I've never really almost fought my wife over golf. Not it's like, hold on, I've been waiting all year for this one moment. Like Cam, the champion golfer of the year. I'm waiting on it, and I almost lost it today.
There's 4 times of the year you can't vacuum at the presentation. Just that simple.
It's that simple. It's like I felt like she should know me better than that. Like the pageantry of the players walk, the receiving the claret jug, the awkward speech.
I bet she never vacuumed at that particular time any other day in life.
She didn't vacuum during the finals, the All-Star game, nothing. She want to vacuum. And the thing is, we got hardwood floors. We don't even have. Where's the Swiffer? Like, why are you vacuuming? Crazy day within golf, as we already talked about. Cam Smith getting it done, but Cam Young, that was really the story to me, because what he was able to do, shoot a final round 65, come back and be in the mix. I mean, Roy McIlroy, it was his tournament to lose, and unfortunately, he did lose. But I'll pose this though: did Roy McIlroy lose, or did he get beat? Honestly, I think he got his ass beat. I mean, when somebody goes out and shoots another 64 on the final round and just goes absolutely low as limbo, what are you going to do about it? I don't know. But, again, kudos, as Will normally says, kudos to the champion golfer of the year. And, hey, Will's back. I was just, holding it down as best I could, Will. It's good. I'm glad you came back to join me, man.
I mean, the Golf Club of Houston is a great course, but the
Well, as you can see, Will was trying to say that the Golf Club of Houston is a great golf course, but the Wi-Fi, as you can clearly see and hear, is trash. But, you know what, since Will is on pause, let me give Will some flowers real quick, because for those that don't know, Will is the tournament director of the Underrated Golf Tour. The Underrated Tour is a tour that we've highlighted on our Make Golf Your Thing segment here on Beyond the Fairway presented by Genesis previously, but I don't think people really understand all that Will has going on right now. Not only does he co-host this show with me, he has a show on Golf Pass. Be sure to check it out. That's Home Course Advantage. So he's doing that. He's also got a son at home that's 7 months. So he's a father. He's got, again, the junior tour where he's traveling. Will hadn't been home in a month. I saw him here in Phoenix. Then I bumped into him at the American Century, where we'll have the episode with Shane coming up here in just a minute. And now he's back in Houston for another junior golf event. So I think we do ourselves a disservice and not always highlight the people that are doing the most within the game. And Will wakes up, and when he's looking at the ceiling, he's trying to figure out, how do I grow this game? How do I use what little platform I have to make sure that black and brown folks of all entry points have access to play this game? And shout out to him and Jay Rich and Steph Curry and all the things that Will's doing within the game of golf. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell the producers we should have done a Make Golf Your Own just starring Will Lowery with all the things that he does do. It's impressive, and it's one of those things that I get excited about. Like when I see Will like grinding and doing all the things that he's doing around the game, it makes me kind of want to get up a little faster in the morning, make sure I'm in the gym and making sure. So if he never gets his flowers from anybody else because he's one of the big guys behind the scenes, Will Lowery, you're going to get your flowers from me. But we have to get to this Shane Victorino. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. So before we get to this episode, I've got a good buddy of mine, Andy Victoriano. That's Andy's name. He's it's my homie. So we get Shane Victorino in there. So I did the intro, and guess what? Yeah, I actually messed his name up live with him like right next to me. And then Will had to come in and save the day. So without further ado, I'm going to let you see this. Let's go Beyond the Fairway with Shane Victorino.
I want to welcome everybody to Beyond the Fairway, America's Century Edition. We're sitting here with Shane Victorino, the Hawaiian. Did I say it right?
The Flying Hawaiian.
Flying Hawaiian, who we have here right now. So what year is this for you?
This is number 4.
Number 4.
Doesn't get any easier. Trust me.
Now hold on, Shane. Now it may not be getting easier, but is it getting better from the aesthetics?
100% it is definitely getting better. The nerves are a little better, but just the whole couple days here. I mean, to be around guys and former athletes and celebrities and to go out there and act like we know what we're doing, I think that's what makes it great. But no, it's definitely a good time. It's definitely getting better.
So now the state of your game. Now from year 1
here we go.
to where we are now, how much have you improved and how much preparation do you have before you step on the premises of Edgewood?
I want to say I've gotten better, but the fact that I didn't put in the work prior to this week is not better. So I think that's what was bad about it, is that in years past, I definitely prepared more. I definitely took it a little more serious, but the results weren't there. So I said to myself this year, maybe if I don't go out and try to be so fine and dandy, that the results might work out. So I guess we shall see Sunday.
You're kind of like a veteran, right? So, like, is that the strategy? Like, you said you've prepped. Now you're just going to say the hell with it and go out here and play.
That's basically what I said to myself, is that, years have passed, it didn't go as you wanted. So this year, just come out here, have fun, be raw, and go out there and do your thing.
So how did that play, or did you implement that attitude in baseball at all?
There was times I definitely did it, but no. Baseball was definitely different. It was the career. There was, a lot more on the line than coming out and playing golf. So, no, I definitely prepared a lot different.
But hold on, Shane. How's Will wearing a Mets hat right now
I don't know.
next to you?
I've already wondered that.
Him
I
the
don't
hell
know.
out.
That's the same guy that works for a family, and he wears Nike stuff. So you tell me how that works. I'm still trying.
Oh, bro.
Sorry.
Bro, you are.
Hold on.
I didn't mean to.
Let's give it.
Shots fired.
Let's give this a little context.
Somebody else told me to tee it. Somebody else teed it up.
So we are on the range, as Shane just said. Will does some things for the Curry family, underrated tour, and some other things that Will does. And Will does have on some Nike shoes and not some Curry brands. So
yeah,
Steph wasn't too proud of that moment.
It was a whole generation. It was Steph, Steph uncle, Steph dad,
everybody.
Steph brother. It's okay though. It's okay.
Tell them where your stuff.
I'm just waiting for the paycheck to match. That's all it is. So Shane, back. How did you get started in the game of golf?
So in 2016, for the first time, 2016, I walked away from baseball. And I said to myself, I needed something else to do that brought out that, that adrenaline, that competitive nature. So I fell in love. My neighbor who lived 2 houses up from me, he tried to get me into golf my whole career. And I was like, yes, I played in charity stuff. I played in things here and there. But, to go out and play the game, I really didn't get started at 16. So, as I said, the neighbor friend of mine who was like a father figure, he's like, man, you got to do something. So I started to go out and play. And, like, literally, I wanted to go out, play around, go practice for 3 hours, go play another round, go back and to the point where I was like, yeah, I'm getting way too serious. I'm not that good. But I definitely, have loved and enjoyed the game every single day. I mean, it's a lot of work. A lot of people think that it's a pretty simple game.
Yeah. As
a guy who hit another and quote unquote played a game that everybody thought was hard in baseball, man, golf's pretty tough.
Yeah, but they always said you'd mess up your baseball swing playing golf.
That was 100% why I didn't do it. That's why I didn't do it.
Really?
My coaches told me in high school that playing golf would screw up. You'd be under the ball a little too much.
No, is that a wives' tale? Honestly, is that an old wives' tale now?
Honestly, from a standpoint of playing the game now, yes, the angles are definitely different. In baseball, I wanted to be on top of the ball. I wanted to come from up and over the top, and in golf,
you do that's death.
You come out over the top right off the backside when you go back, and you come out over, that ball's going to be going right. So I think that's kind of what I was, saying to myself.
Man, you crushed me.
I'm trying to bear you to
that bus that you're running over me. Can you back up a little bit?
All right, I backed it up. I backed it up and drove it back.
Okay. So now, are you find yourself more mechanical in a golf swing, less than baseball swing?
Definitely. I think mechanically, yes. I think there's definitely less mechanics. I think the biggest part for me is slowing down.
In the golf swing?
In the golf swing,
okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part where a lot of us, I feel like, go astray, is that you want to rush back to rush forward. Like, you feel like you got to get back create that momentum. So for me, I actually played, you brought up the point about being in Vegas and playing with, a guy like Collin Morikawa, one of the slowest takeaways. And it's actually helped me come out now I played with him about 3 months ago. It actually helped me the last 3 months. Driver hit better, and some of the irons I hit better because of just the slowing down. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's, what the theory behind it, but slowing down the takeaway has helped me so much.
And the thing about, we say it all the time, is that there's no power in the backswing.
No.
So you're really starting to understand acceleration.
Correct.
So,
but I need to understand more of this, though, because you play out of Summit there in Summit Club, Discovery Land property there in Las Vegas, and there's no shortage of tour players that are running around. Like, you talked a little bit about watching Collin, playing with Collin, but how is it getting that firsthand experience, especially being from another sport, to see the golfers do what they do?
Well, I always tell myself, I think, I hate to bounce it back on me, but I said to myself, when people came to watch me play, I feel like as a player watching a Collin, I'm that fan. Yeah. I'm sitting there in awe because I love the game of golf now, and I'm sitting there in awe. More importantly, more in awe, just like, dude, how do you make it look so easy? Because I'm going to go hit that same shot after you, and the result's going to be nowhere near it. Yes, I say to myself, Collin also, or, professional golfers, or, I've done and taken 10 million more swings than I have. Correct. But still, for me, it's appreciating the craft and the greatness of their craft. And so I always say to myself, I take it for granted when people used to come watch me, just like I'm taking it for granted watching a Collin Morikawa or someone like that I get to sit there and play with and watch on at a place like the Summit. I really appreciate it, that much more, how great these guys are at the game of golf.
Have you invested in a swing coach per se?
I have not.
You have not.
I have
not. He plays with Collin Morikawa. He's good.
That is true, but sometimes I know,
No, a lot of guys do.
All right, Shane. I mean, I appreciate you, following me around, but let me recommend you someone.
Yeah, no, a lot of guys do, but with Collin, it's been great, or to play with guys like that, because it's a casual round.
Yes.
And then you're not sitting there going, hey, can you, how do you do this and how do you do that? It's more like, okay, I'm observing one thing. His takeaway is so slow. And then after a few holes, you'll be like, hey, Collin, what's the theory behind your takeaway? Or why is it so slow? And then you start learning. Another thing
But you might be messing him up, though. It's like, remember, you got slow takeaway.
I ain't messing him up, trust me.
I am going to say this, and I'm going to hold you to this. Now that you're saying this, I am in this adult T-ball league.
Okay.
I'm going to need some
tips?
swing. Yes. Adult T-ball all day long. I need help.
Don't swing like a golf swing. So that's your first piece.
Okay, all right.
Try to stay on top of the ball, which is hard to do because that's not what you do in golf.
All right.
So that's the two things, the two biggest pieces of advice is, now can you take those two pieces of advice and not screw up your golf swing?
Okay, I'm just letting you know.
So,
adult T-ball.
When you get this video of me, this adult coach pitch.
He got better with the T-ball to the coach pitch, at least.
When you see this adult coach pitch, dog, bro, I want some swing advice. I'm just letting you know.
Send me that video.
Okay.
Now, here's the question, because you have your own celebrity event and you play in a few. Why the hell do all the pitchers play good golf? Like, what is it about a pitcher?
Because they got nothing else to do. What the hell they do? They pitch once a week, and then they go to the course all day long. Like, I have to go put 5 hours of work in the cages. They get to go 5 hours. No. You know what's funny? I always wonder that. I tell people, like, honestly, pitchers never really, not saying they don't hit, but they didn't work on their craft of the swing every day. And a lot of times they had more times than us, to be honest with you. They ain't better athletes, if that's what, some will say. So we got to make sure we get that right.
I feel like I would hate pitchers and kickers. I would hate them.
What? You had to bring in the kicker.
Because,
you had to bring it up.
Because it's just the fact that, you getting paid a lot of money to work on two crafts. Man, when I see a kicker or a pitcher got a better, softer hands than me and around a short game, I get hot. I'm like, you're not working hard enough, and you're in mid-season right now. Sorry, that's just me.
Who's the best pitcher you played with?
I would probably have to say Probably Smoltz.
Smoltz
is solid.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, some of the things that I see him do around the golf course and with golf clubs, I'm like, bro, you've been doing this since year one of your career of baseball.
They played every day, those boys in Atlanta.
Man,
Here's what
They're all good.
Right.
You guys play so many games throughout the season, and you say you play college, you go into the minors, you come up to the majors. Your lives are so structured. As a retired baseball player now, well, did you have any issues kind of adjusting to civilian life?
Well,
because you're not
yeah.
you're not being coached or.
First couple of years it was tough, to really find your identity again because as you said, you're so used to do every day. I knew, what I was going to do. I knew I was going to go to the field, do what I love, play the game, with passion and love it every single day too. It's not there anymore. So, the first couple of years it definitely was hard. I ended up on the golf course, which we talked about a second ago, and that part was tough too because I wasn't hanging out with a bunch of guys my age. I was playing with father figures or, guys who were in their 50s, 60s, and 70s who are done working. And so that was tough in the beginning because I was like, I almost felt like I was getting old faster than, and not in a bad way, but that's because I was doing, and I was like, so I had to find some kind of identity and find myself. So it was tough the first couple of years.
But I find this intriguing though, especially you try to find yourself because, like you said, you're kind of told what to do, not told what to do, but encouraged what to
structure.
do. What were some of those things that you did kind of do for yourself initially?
When I walked away from the game?
Yeah, when you walked away from the game, just to kind of figure out who Shane was.
Well, it took a couple years. That first year I felt like a couch potato because, again, the structure wasn't there because I didn't have to go and take 1,000 swings in the batting cage, or I didn't have to, be ready at 7 o'clock for a game or a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah.
There was no agenda. And so that was the part for me is I started to really rekindle an agenda by taking my kids to school. So knowing that I get up 6:30 in the morning, take them to school, I got back on what I called a schedule. And I think, like I said, it was tough the first couple of years because the game and what you've loved and you've done for so long, and it was your heart and soul was basically no longer there.
Do you miss the game?
I miss the game and I miss the camaraderie.
Oh.
I don't miss the travel. I don't miss the, like you said, the 162. I don't miss
you
that
don't miss
part
stuff
of
they
it.
don't
No,
see.
I miss the game. I miss the game. I miss the camaraderie. I miss being around, But again, that's why I fell in love with golf. Yeah. Because I felt like I was able to bring that competitive edge in, around guys or be around, individuals where that competitive nature came out. But that was definitely something that I miss, for sure, about walking away from the game.
Well, outside of Will wearing a Mets hat. Let's talk a little bit about your time in Philly.
Yeah.
When you think back on what you were able to do and the fans and the people, what do you think about? How does that make you feel just thinking about your time in Philly?
I think about the fact of what people say about Philadelphia. And people always ask me, in fact, I just played with a group, and they asked me, what's it like playing in Philly? I said, I was a winner. So it was the greatest thing in the world. And when I say that, it's like, a place like that. It's about passion. It's hardworking people. It's blue collar. It's that that person that they're coming to the game with a family of 4. They're not they don't have it.
Right.
But to come to a game as a family to watch us go out there and play. It was no greater feeling. And I told people this. Like I said, I was winning. I definitely didn't want to be on the losing side because I've had guys that I played with through my career go, dude, it sucked to come to Philly as an opposing player, or they just made it miserable. So, city of Philadelphia, man, it is one of those places where if you're winning, there's no greater city in the world.
Place.
It's a special place, for sure, special place.
So now, who would you say have that blue collar golfer that you may play with on a day-to-day basis, or even in
one of these
space, in the celebrity space? Who's the blue collar golfer?
Shit. All my teammates? Nah, I don't know. Honestly,
because there's two different golfers. You
got a guy who's good and you got a guy who's going to grind.
Right.
And
then you got a guy.
To be honest, it's all of us.
Right.
Majority of us are that blue collar because we got to grind. We got to be work at it.
When you got to Philly or just in the league in general, what was that moment where you were like, damn, I'm out here. I'm here.
I think for me, it never happened.
It never happened.
And when I say that it never happened,
though.
That's my point.
Yeah.
And I never, even to the day I retired, and even sometimes now, my family will sit around and my brother will start talking, and he'd be like, bro, and I'd be like, think about that, man. Just some little boy that grew up in the middle of the ocean. We used to play in the backyard as kids, and you ever thought, and so I think that's for me why I played the way I did, and I never took it for granted because I also came from a place that no one's done it,
Yeah.
you know, in the middle of the ocean. But the fact of, like, I was getting to do something that I love and thinking about how many other human beings would love to be in where I'm standing here today. So I think that's a lot of the stuff and the tangibles of, you know, again, being a professional athlete.
What was the welcome to golf moment for you? Like I'm
Yeah,
playing,
on the flip side.
I'm playing this game, and this is not going to be as easy as I think.
Every day, honestly. I
So
mean,
you had that welcome to golf moment
every day. I mean, every day I still feel it. You know, you come back and you make that one shot and you love it, and then you get the next 10 and you're like, dude, I suck at the game of golf. But, you know, now for me, the coming of the game was being invited to something like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, makes sense.
it was that moment where you're like, okay, you have to be somewhat good
right.
to go out and want to do it. And I think that was for me, was to get the invite 4 years ago.
Shane, I don't know. We've been here and we're 15 yards away from the range. I don't know if you have to somewhat be good, bro.
Yes, that's not. Yeah,
don't hold yourself to that standard.
No.
All right, in the field this week, there's a lot of people that you know.
Yeah.
A couple new faces. Who do you just have to beat? Who can you not allow yourself to be beat by?
Jimmy Rollins. 100%. That's my only deal. Every year I got to beat Jimmy. He's like a big brother. He's one of my best friends. He was in my wedding, so obviously, you know, even more than that. But he's the only guy every year I make sure, because after year one, he was talking so much mad about beating
you
me.
can say it
So
on here.
I
No, you
said to
can say that
myself,
on here.
no,
Yeah,
I'm going to
everybody.
get his
Yeah, he gonna bust his
I got him next year. I got him this next year, and then I'm going to get him this year. Hopefully.
What's the
Cross fingers
bet?
crossed.
What's the bet this year?
Uh-oh.
Eagle.
Eagle.
Just, you know, running their mouths, saying who's better. So what we need to do is this year, when I do beat him, I need to go publicly do a video and
Yes.
say,
Come on,
I think
come back
okay.
on the
Or
show.
Come back on the
Come
show, and
back.
we need to do that.
Okay,
and
when
make
you
sure
when
that
you
we
when you
talk about
bust his
that.
ass, you definitely
Yes.
have a place
I'm
back
gonna bust his ass.
back here. All right, now Shane, we let everybody out of here the same way. All right, you only get this question right here. We call it Rap Foursome right here, Beyond the Fairway,
Okay.
NBC Sports. You're gonna go play golf with 4 rappers, right? It's 5 ball. So here's you 4 rappers, dead or alive. They don't have to play golf or not, but I need to know who you pull up to the golf course with.
Snoop.
Snoop is a fan favorite.
He is.
Fan favorite.
I wonder why Snoop is a fan favorite. Not just a game of golf.
I feel like Snoop is high on everybody's list.
To be
Well
honest,
done.
another one.
No,
Check
well
it out.
done.
I
I like
appreciate
that.
that. All right.
Tupac. I'd like to,
Tupac.
you know, I just because I was,
Yeah.
you know, I grew up watching him. Another rapper. Let's go. I would love to go with DJ Khaled. I don't know. I just think he'd be fun. I just think he'd be
holler
fun.
too much. No, I like it. That's a good
He's
call.
just a fun dude. I
Yeah.
feel like he would just go out there and be fun. And
Yeah.
then my last one, I got to go with the GOAT, man, Jay-Z. I
There we
just
go.
love
That's-
to bring him out there. I don't
Yeah,
know, just
man.
because. I don't even care about the game of golf. I just want to talk to him about life.
Right,
Yeah.
that's
More
fair.
importantly.
I feel like DJ Khaled is an inclusive golfer. Can you imagine hitting a good shot? He's like, we the best.
Yeah, we the
Like,
best.
hold on, how the hell are we the best? I hit that damn shot.
I
What the hell are you talking
I
about?
think he'll go mute on a bogey though. I don't think ain't no
He
we
don't
in
say
that.
we on that
He
one.
go French in that we.
Yeah.
So those would be my 4. Those would be my 4.
Well, that's what's up, man.
Yes.
How do the people get a hold of you out there that want to follow along to this journey you got?
Oh man, my IG's at Shane Victorino. Other than that, I'm really not too much into that social
Social
life
space, I
because
get
of you know, the headaches and sometimes it brings positives and negatives. But yeah, at Shane Victorino on IG, man.
Well, that's the pros and cons right there. Shane, man, we
Thank you,
appreciate
boys.
you.
Always,
Best of
man.
luck this week. Go
Thank
bust
you
some
so much.
ass. Go
We'll have
bust
some fun.
Rollins'
I'm gonna
ass for
bust
sure.
some ass so I can get J-Rope.
All right, that's it. My man.
I love it.
Beyond the Fairway is presented by Genesis Motor America and the first ever GV70. Dynamic design and exhilarating performance make the game your own. And we've already talked to Shane Victorino, and God, what the guy, he makes the game his own. It's interesting, you know, especially not having Will with me. So I feel like a little like left out in the cold, but he got, you know, technical issues. So we'll get to that later. But one thing that I hope people take away from the conversation with Shane is when you are a professional athlete and you do, you know, go through, you know, the juniors and the majors and the minors and whatever you do, you're actually coached 100% of the time. You know, you've got, you know, nutritionists, you've got, you know, strength conditioning coaches, you've got position coaches, you've got all types of coaches and information that you're being told what to do. So when you do that for the majority of your life and then you step out and retire from the game, you know, there comes some ambiguities as it relates to where you're going to get your competitive fix and we talked about that in the episode, and I hope you guys got to hear a little bit about, you know, some of the, you know, the mental health hurdles that Shane had to overcome as he, you know, did his best to kind of find his lane. And thank God for a game like golf where you can leverage this community of players. I mean, like, Will talked about it in previous episodes, thanks to the handicapping system, that we can all go out and compete together. Shane can go play with Collin Morikawa in a competitive round. He's going to get his ass kicked. But at the end of the day, he can leverage that to get better at the game. And thank goodness for the game. You got so many guys that just retired. We talked to CC Sabathia last season. We talked to, John Lester as well. And it's one of those things where this game is just bringing everybody together. And, it's interesting to hear him talk about playing golf and learning from Collin Morikawa because, how often do we have the opportunity? We don't. I'm basic, so I never get the chance to kind of pick the tour players' brains. Every so often, I get an opportunity. But for him to be able to go out and pick the brain of Collin Morikawa and have a little reverse mentorship as it relates to playing the game, the X's and O's of the game, I think that's pretty impressive. And shout out to Collin Morikawa, who needs to bring his ass in here and go beyond the fairway, presented by Genesis with Will and myself when Will fixes his technology. But I want to talk about those things because I think it's so important that people understand that when you do leave the game and you are trying to find your identity, golf can be that for you. So big shouts out to Shane Victorino. See, I almost did it again. Shane Victorino coming in here and going beyond the fairway. And don't forget, Shane's Phillies host the Cubs this Sunday, July 24th, and they're going to play on Peacock right here on NBC Sports. So check that out. Go. I've got no dog in that fight. I'll be honest with you. So go Phillies. That's the first time I've ever said that. Probably the last time I'll ever say that in life. But before we get up out of here, the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational was a team event there on the LPGA Tour. Sedina Parks, Adita Uwadia paired up together, made the cut, strong finish, strong play for two black women that are non-members of the LPGA Tour. So I said about Will earlier, make sure he gets his flowers. I want to make sure that they get their flowers as well. They got into that event via the John Shippen, which I'll be at next week, coming up Detroit. The John Shippen Invitational, 18 players. I think it actually grew to 20 this season. They're going to go out and play a 2-day event there at Detroit Golf Club for an opportunity to play in the Rocket Mortgage that following week. So to all the guys that I know and love, you guys go out there and do your thing. And just, again, shout out to Sedina and how she played, and former guest right here on Beyond the Fairway podcast. Look, but what we want you to do, we want to make sure that you're following along to all the things that I'm doing, that Will's doing. I'm at the Douglas Fresh. You can follow Will at Will Lowery Golf. Beyond the Fairway is the handle on Instagram. We don't do Twitter. It's just too much. There's too many Insta socials out there to try to keep up with. Beyond the Fairway on Instagram. Be sure you click, subscribe, like wherever you get your podcast. Hopefully I have my co-homie back with me next week, but we'll see. Will, I don't know if he paid the internet bill at wherever he's at, so we'll see how that works. But appreciate you guys rocking with us as always. And go out there and support the sponsors. Next time you buy a car, I don't know, test drive a Genesis maybe. We'll holla at you. Peace.